What is up, D's fitness enthusiasts? Today, we're going to be making the meat tier list. So, these rankings are going to be based on what are the healthiest meats for us, what are the most nutritionally dense, with the least amount of toxins. We're not going to really be putting flavor or taste into perspective, into consideration. But you know what? We might. If we're borderline in between a tier, I might put taste, into consideration. So, what are we going to start off with, guys? I think I'm going to break some of your guys' hearts to begin. Let's start off with bacon. Bacon, let's see if this will drag into the D tier. Now, bacon really should not be in the D tier in theory, but it's sad because most bacons nowadays, the 99% of the ones at the supermarket, have tons of additives. There's sugars, preservatives such as nitrates, and we'll get into processed sugars in a little bit, but when nitrates are heated, they become like a different compound, and that compound is carcinogenic. I forget the exact name of the compound that when nitrates are heated, but they are carcinogenic. Processed sugars in your bacon, keeping you hungry as hell, keeping you fat and bloated as hell. So it's sad, but there are alternatives if you want to keep eating your bacon. So if you can go to a butcher, to the butcher section, they might have some better options like no sugar added bacon, just bacon alone, a single ingredient. But that's what I would recommend if you guys want to keep eating bacon without any of those, harmful ingredients. So watch out if you're buying like packaged bacon. Always read the back, always read the ingredients, and make sure the only ingredient is bacon. Preferably organic or no soy. We'll get in that. You know what? Speaking of pork, where are we going to put pork? Pork, I'm kind of in between A and B tier because I'm thinking that some of these other meats are a little bit better than pork, but they're not exactly S tier. So I think we'll put pork in the B tier. Now, why is pork in the B tier? Pigs, hopefully you guys know that pork comes from pigs, and pigs are monogastric animals, meaning that their fat stores what they're fed. And what are 99% of pigs fed in America? And all over the world, unless you know like a farmer specifically or something like that, they're fed corn, soy, and grains because pigs will eat anything. And these are bad farming practices. They're used to fatten up the animal. And since pork is a monogastric animal, that linoleic acid is going to be stored in its fat, and then you directly eat the fat. This is also another thing that's wrong with bacon. Pigs, they're fed terrible things, and you guys got to remember what fat really is. Fat is what the animal's fed. It stores what it's fed. So if you can get a pig that's fed a species-appropriate diet, that's amazing. But it's extremely hard compared to some of these other meats. So pork, if you can get a pig that's fed a good diet, go ahead. It will be great. But sadly, bad farming practices, hard to find pork that's good quality. Putting it in the B tier, guys. Let's see, what should we move on to next? You know what? I'm going to break some of you guys' hearts even more. We're going to talk about another monogastric animal, chicken. Going in the B tier. If you guys see my YouTube short on chicken is overrated, chickens are basically fed the exact same thing pork is fed, that pigs are fed. And it's stored. Chicken is also a monogastric animal. Speaking of monogastric animals, let's put a turkey in the B tier. All three of these animals are fed corn, grains, and soy. Makes their fat higher in linoleic acid. I think I should probably put chicken a little bit higher than pork because most people eat chicken breast, which doesn't have as much fat since it is a lean meat. You won't be getting much of that linoleic acid, but if you can get for all these animals a species-appropriate diet, such as like if you know a farmer or anything like that, get a chicken. Sorry guys, you can get a chicken that's fed bugs or some grains. That would be great. This applies to eggs too, but eggs are a lot more nutritionally dense. I don't have eggs up here, but I'll probably put eggs maybe in the A tier because they're more nutritionally dense. And chicken is just not as nutritionally dense as some of these other meats we'll get into, and it's got poor farming practices, leading its fat to not be as healthy. So, speaking of chicken, and what I just said also applies to turkey as well. Speaking of chicken, let's put in fried chicken in the D tier. If there was an F tier, fried chicken, straight into the F tier. Why do I say this, guys? Fried chicken, it's chicken plus a bunch of unnecessary ingredients. You got the baking, not the baking. What is it called? The thing you put around. I don't eat fried chicken at all. I don't eat any of these terrible foods, so I'm not really in the lingo, if you would say. So they put. I always, but the thing you put around the the breadcrumbs and the egg. The egg yolk is fine, but you have the breadcrumb and the flour that's gonna be disruptive to your gut, and then you have that terrible. That's already terrible. The flour, the breadcrumbs, and then you deep fry that in seed oils. Come on, tons of linoleic acid. We know. I hope all of you guys know that seed oils, one of the worst things you can put in your body, and you're frying that. You're oxidizing it even more. If you want some fried chicken and you care a little bit about you don't care enough about your health to not eat the fried chicken at all, fry it in some tallow, But, the flour alone, you should probably stay away from this, guys. There was an F tier, fried chicken going in an F tier. What are we going to talk about next? I talked about some of the negatives. Let's talk about some positives. So, I think we're going to be putting beef in the S tier. And while we're speaking of beef, let's put in bison in the S tier, venison in the S tier. Any ruminant will be going in the S tier. Unlike these other animals, pigs, turkeys, chickens, beef, cows, I should say, bison, elk, deer, it's much easier to find grass-fed, grass-finished options. And if you're a real health nut, you can get regeneratively raised. I can never say that. It's so hard to say. Regeneratively raised. What this means is that these animals are, unlike the ones in the B tier, are fed a species-appropriate diet, making it so they're much more nutrient dense and their fat is a lot healthier, much higher in omega-3 and a lot more vitamin E in these animals. Now, of course, you have the normal like soy fat. You're always going to find that options for these animals, but if you stay away from that, you invest in your health a little bit, pay the extra $1, $2 per pound, and you get some grass-fed, grass-finished, ruminants. That's going to be amazing for you. These red meats are some of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, just shy of probably what we're going to get into next. These are very bioavailable protein sources, tons of nutrients, B vitamins, minerals, zinc. But speaking of zinc, you gotta balance the zinc with some copper. And what's a good source of copper? Beef liver. We're gonna put that, the highest one, higher than these muscle meats, higher than steak, higher than beef, higher than bison, higher than venison. The liver, it's perfect to balance out all the nutrients in the muscle meats, such as your steaks, your ribeyes. This is because they complement the other nutrients very well. Just speaking of zinc, you get zinc in your muscle meats, and then your liver, you get some copper. This is as to digest zinc. When you digest zinc, you absorb, your body uses some of the copper to digest it. Beef liver, it's an amazing source of every single nutrient you can find. This is nature's multivitamin. B vitamins. What do I even get? Vitamin A. There's so much vitamin A in liver. If you eat too much, people say you're going to get vitamin A toxicity. There's just so many minerals in beef liver, like, iron, copper. Like, I don't even know where to start on this. This is just, if you see my video, this is the healthiest food on the planet. You guys got to be eating liver, especially beef liver. Now, we got chicken liver. I think I'm going to put that in the A tier. It could go in the S tier, but once again, chickens are not fed the best foods, which isn't really a big deal with liver because you're really realistically only going to eat an ounce per day to get all the nutrients because it's that nutrient dense. But chicken liver, it's also just less nutritious than beef liver. It's got like half the amount of nutrients, much less vitamin A, much less minerals, much less B vitamins. Now, of course, some may say just up the dose of chicken liver, which is true. But why do you want to do that when you can just have some beef liver without any of those, harmful, not exactly harmful, but, those excess sort of ingredients. How do I say this? The linoleic acid, the pork feed, the chickens are fed. So just stick the beef liver. Beef liver is better in every single way. And speaking of liver, we got another organ coming up. We got heart. Now heart, it's kind of like a muscle meat. It's basically a muscle meat. You can make heart burgers. Absolutely delicious. Heart got tons of nutrients, selenium, B vitamins, zinc, copper, like just amazing for you. Realistically, the only organs you really need are liver and heart. Now, you can have other animals' hearts like chicken hearts, but once again, ruminant meat is just much more nutritionally dense. So, most commonly, you're going to find some beef heart. You can get like elk heart if you're crazy. Get some ruminant heart, put it on the grill, make a patty. It's an organ, but you can treat it as a muscle meat. I guess that's all I got to say about heart. Amazing for you. Now, I put 2 different types of salmon, and this can apply to basically all seafood, all fish, kind of. So, the one on the left here, I got the cooked fish. I'll classify that as wild caught. So, we're ranking wild caught fish. So, I'm going to put it in the A tier. Some of you guys are like, no, you got to put it in the S tier, but no. Fish, it's not as nutritionally dense as ruminants, and you got to remember, guys, fish comes from the ocean, from waters, from lakes, and these are like, these places are, kind of polluted nowadays, man. It's sad. Like, tons of microplastics in fish, even in wild-caught fish. My guys might have seen the videos when they zoom in with a microscope on the fish, they find microplastics, so yeah, you don't want to be eating that. And what's even worse is farm-raised salmon. I'll put it in the C tier. I'll put it in the C tier just because, but now this looks bad because I got it higher than fried chicken. I think it's higher than fried chicken, but I think it's on the same tier as bacon. You know what? I'll make you guys happy. We're bumping up bacon up a spot. Now, farm-raised salmon, you can find single ingredient farm-raised salmon. It doesn't have any of those preservatives, any of those unnecessary ingredients such as bacon, but farm-raised salmon is just, if you guys seen the conditions, there's tons of BPAs, tons of microplastics in these farms. The fish feed is absolutely terrible. Fish in the wild caught salmon, it's naturally pink, but farm-raised salmon, it's naturally gray because of the fish feed. The fish's diet, maybe you guys heard this about flamingos, they eat shrimp, so they turn pink. Same with the salmon. So what these companies have to do is they have to artificially add coloring to the salmon. So if you look at some farm-raised salmons, you can look at the ingredients, it's like salmon, color added. So they have to add some color. People say it's like, oh, they add it naturally, but that's like saying processed sugar is natural because it comes from wherever. comes from nature, even though it's processed. So if you guys can, in every shape and form, wild-caught salmon, this applies to all fish, is just going to be much better. You're not going to have that terrible farming conditions, terrible fish feed. This fish feed increases the linoleic acid found in the fish's fat. And a lot of people say, fish, people take fish oil supplements, it's like, for the omega-3s. But then you got the farm-raised salmon, much less in omega-3s because of the fat content. It's being fed foods that are higher in omega-6, such as, soy and just terrible foods, guys. Stay away from farm-raised salmon. If you guys want some more, I got a YouTube short on farm-raised salmon. So, wild-caught salmon, the way to go. Uh-oh, guys. We got 4 more left, and they're not looking good. We got ham. I guess ham, we'll put it in the same tier. Sorry, guys, I just keep coughing. I guess we'll put it on the same tier as bacon. It's got the same issue as bacon, and that is the additives. Ham, it should realistically be the same as pork, up here with the pork, because it's just pork, but of course, your deli meats, got to add some sugar, some nitrates, some preservatives. Same issues as bacon as we mentioned before. No go, guys. Stay away from the ham. If you guys want something similar to ham, you can get smoked beef. Same thing as ham. And most likely, it's more commonly, it doesn't have many additives, you know. So you guys, watch out for the additives. Always look at the ingredients if you're buying something. Make sure if you're going to get ham, single ingredient ham. That would be in the B tier, but unfortunately, too many additives, man. Bad farming practices. Same thing, what is this? Salami, I think this is. Same issue with salami. Come on, guys. The additives. Why do we need additives in our food, guys? It's because of these greedy companies killing our health, keeping our balls small, guys. So, same thing as ham, salami, and I think salami is even more processed, in fact, because it's a mixture of multiple meats, which isn't really an issue because you think of ground beef, you know, ground bison is just, you know what? It doesn't really play much of a toll that it's multiple meat, different types of meats in salami, but it's just the additives, man. And once again, you know, the animals that are in salami, they're fed terrible foods, you know, lower quality fats, higher in linoleic acid, which is keeping us metabolically sick as hell. Now, next thing, we got spam. Spam, I don't want to put it in D tier because, you know, I said at the start, we might play taste as a factor, but we'll put it in C tier because it's got potato starch, I think. It's got some bad ingredients, but at least it's not fried in seed oils like fried chicken. So it's got that going for it. Same issues as most of these things in the C tier, the bacon, the ham, the salami. Got tons of additives, low quality meat. Same issue as the sausages, guys. Once again, it's better than fried chicken because it's not fried in seed oils, which is always a plus, but additives, man. Nitrates, same issue as all of these in the C tier. Most likely it has added sugars. Just guys, be careful. So let's review the tier list. I think my rankings are pretty good, guys. I don't know about you. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. We got beef liver, beef heart, and this will be any ruminant. Ruminant beef, ruminant heart. Gotta go in the S tier. Grass-fed, grass-finished, always a plus. Then we got the muscle meats, we got the beef, the venison, the bison, basically all the same thing. Doesn't really matter what you eat. All amazing for you as long as you get grass-fed, grass-finished. And you know what? Even if you're getting like a soy-fed, vegetarian-fed, as the marketing agents would say, it's still better for you than like the monogastric animals, because if you guys look at a cow's digestive system, it's got like 4 stomachs. It chews its curd, it throws up the feed back up, and then redigests it. So digests it much better than these monogastric animals, but it's always just a plus to get grass-fed, grass-finished, once again. Then we got chicken liver, A tier. Not as good as beef liver, ruminant liver, but it's still amazing for you. It's much easier to find chicken liver as well, I found, you know. So if you can't get beef liver, just up the dose of chicken liver. You know, maybe a little bit more than an ounce. Then we got wild-caught salmon. It's good, but you know, you get the issue with the microplastics, pollution in the water. Not a good sign. And it's just a little bit less nutritionally dense as some of these foods in the S tier, such as liver and ruminant meat. Then we got the monogastric animals. We got chicken, we got turkey, we got pork. Higher content in linoleic acid due to the poor feed, the grains, the soy, the corn. Storing in its fat, then you directly eat that fat, no go. What's even worse though? Farm-raised salmon, guys. The amount of BPA, the fish poop in the farm, oh my gosh, guys, it's just disgusting. Just, you know, they have to add coloring because it's gray. Just think about eating a gray fish. Come on, guys. Stay away. Then we got all the processed meats, all the additives. We got all the processed sugars, all the nitrates. Not good for you guys. Stay away from those carcinogenic ingredients. And finally, in the D tier, if there was an F tier, we'd put that in. We got fried chicken. Oh, I remember now, the batter. Got the batter. Breadcrumbs, I think it is. Some even had cornflakes. Like, come on, guys. No need for cornflakes on your fried chicken. Frying it in seed oils, though, a little bit too far, man. Because seed oils are basically all the issues with the ones in the B tier amplified because it's pure linoleic acid, guys. You don't want that in your body. Keeping your balls small, keeping you fat as hell, metabolically sick as hell. Stay away. You want some chicken? Eat some real chicken. some grilled chicken. But if you're a real man, have some liver, have some beef. I think we'll leave it at that, guys. I'm pretty happy with the tier list after reviewing it. I don't know about you guys. If you guys made it this far into the video, it means you guys like something about my content. Maybe you guys should sub up, like up the video. Share it to your mom, share it to your dad, share it to your best friend. I'll really appreciate that, and got more to come. If you guys like this tier list, I might do some more. I'm thinking of making a diet tier list. Just maybe a fruit tier list if you guys want that. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching until the end. If you have made it this far, see you guys in the next one. Peace.